Terrence Howard's exclusive interview was made public, exposing all of the celebrities that had sex with Diddy. Additionally, Terrence Howard allegedly got threats because of the names he disclosed. Diddy's predicament has further deteriorated due to a recent lawsuit that was filed in court and names Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and even LeBron James. This demonstrates that Diddy had relationships with some of the top personalities in the business. Additionally, the worst sex trafficking network in Hollywood will collapse if Diddy is imprisoned.
Speak against me and use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man.
Because he was aware of what goes on behind closed doors, Terrence Howard quit the movie business. This industry is based on couch casting and sexual favors, and Diddy's arrest and the videos he made demonstrate this. Terrence Howard recently disclosed in an episode of the Patrick Bet-David podcast that he turned down some of the biggest roles of his career in order to uphold his ethics. Terrence had values, but did he want to be with him?
No to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He was like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing. And I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit. Because the man card means everything.
According to Terrence, those who accept these offers and compromise their morals will never be able to move past the abuse. According to Terrence, people like Justin Bieber and Usher are psychologically ill and use drugs to block out the memories of their abuse. What good is success if you have to sacrifice your dignity?
Some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. The women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in. No matter.
Terrence Howard tweeted before his interview, saying he was just getting started and that he would expose all the falsehoods. The great falsehood has come to an end. Now that the truth has come to light after years of waiting, let's live by it. We are dismantling this whole system of falsehoods. The revolution has started. Make room for life and pay attention. We have only just begun. Following his interview, Terrence Howard reportedly received threats and was approached by the individuals he had discussed. Terrence Howard stated,
Listen, Before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind the keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm another's reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusation.
When we examine the nuances of Terrence Howard's statements, we see that Hollywood is rife with predators. The film industry is rife with sexual harassment, and some of the greatest names in the business, including Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, Jeffrey Diddy, and Roman Polanski, were sexual predators who coerced young men into engaging in disgusting sexual practices. These individuals are members of the gay mafia that dominates the music and film industries. Directors and executives of record companies collaborated with Diddy in the sex trafficking.
You gotta take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're gonna go too far, you know? Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, you know. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once they're fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So
50 Cent has been saying this for years. Every famous person who attended Diddy's freak-off parties was aware of what was happening behind the scenes, but they chose to remain silent because that's how you succeed in this business. All of Diddy's guests are guilty of permitting the abuse of children and even aiding Diddy in hiding his wrongdoings. Diddy never attended any of Diddy's parties because
business-wise for a long time. Oh, that's why. It's only business. It was really... Away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, "Yo, I'll take you shopping." Like, and I'm like, "What you mean?" Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. And when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, "Yo, nah, I gotta spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this." And it's in it only
after 50 rejected Diddy, 50 claimed that he rejected Diddy because he understood what going out with Diddy actually meant, that Diddy was sexually interested in 50, but 50 said no. Meek Mill was spending time with Diddy, going shopping with him, and attending parties in matching outfits, because he was willing to give up his man card in exchange for notoriety and wealth.
Close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. Stop it. You set that up. I obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think's happening in the middle?
I don't know what's going on.
Wow,
Because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now we gotta hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out. Yeah. He said, I don't know, man. I take you shopping and I get you some flash and you can give me the hood shit. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm gonna mess up the way. Certain things they let it go by because it's fluff. He wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway.
All these years, you being the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They say you're a hater. They say you're
crazy. Yeah, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting.
Diddy has long had the support of Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Jay-Z and Beyoncé married one another solely for commercial purposes and to expand their empire, as the new lawsuits now demonstrate. They also frequently attended Hiskoff parties. Their identities have already appeared in 2 other lawsuits, and an indictment is imminent.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
Oh, wow. You're gonna let him say that? You're gonna let him say that?
He had one.
Exactly.
He had
And
one.
he didn't show up.
He had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. He had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got them shit. He's like drinking. His pictures were fucking things to cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
Absolutely, he's been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
With Diddy. Even though they are all silent now, the evidence will always be there. Just look at everyone who went out with Diddy in 2010. Busta Rhymes Ross. Rick Diddy has always been close to DJ Khaled and Usher. A shooter forced the closure of Trump's National Doral Golf Course in Miami in May 2018. Jonathan Audi Jonathan said he was being controlled and claimed to be Diddy's purported sex.
Audi. Jonathan claimed to be Diddy's alleged sex slave and said that he was being controlled.
You better believe it. Shout out Dab Jam. We the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Happy New Year to the whole planet. God is the greatest. Real talk. And you know, I mean, if there's anything that somebody can say better than that, I'm all ears. But with that being said, continuous blessings to the whole entire universe.
Peace out to my man Drake is in the house. Fabulous is in the house. This is all brotherly love. My biggest brother of them all, the boss, Ricky Ross, is in the house. Ricky Ross, report to the grass. DJ Khaled, he's the best. He's in the house. Tiana Taylor is in the house. My brother Chris Brown, I'm gonna stick with him from thick and thin. Chris Brown is in the house. You know what I'm saying? The something ain't right, so I know Chris Brown is in the house. Big shout to my son Quincy, my son Christian, my son Justin.
Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay?
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate, tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
And I'm sure that's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
That is so generous of you. Cheers to
Worse for Beyoncé and Jay-Z. 3 additional well-known celebrities are included as witnesses in the recent case in which they were identified, and this time the defendant is not anonymous. Doe, John Jay-Z, Beyoncé, LeBron James, and Gloria Estefan were recently the targets of a new civil case for allegedly participating in a dodgy party where a guy was subjected to abuse and humiliation. Defendant Joseph Manzaro claims that he was the victim of a coercive and organized criminal operation in 2015 when he was drugged, transported against
is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1st, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015, and names celebs such as Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and LeBron James as witnesses in the lawsuit. In his filing, Manzaro says the alleged events took place in April 2015. He states that he lost consciousness after feeling a, quote, greasy substance resembling Vaseline as he opened the front door to his home, after which he says he was transported to another residence, where an associate of Combs allegedly told him that the music mogul wanted him brought to a freak-off event. Manzaro alleges in the suit he was secretly transferred to the music producer's home through a concealed tunnel allegedly connected to Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan's Miami property. He alleges that upon regaining partial consciousness, he found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was a birthday party for Combs' then 17-year-old son Christian Combs. There, he was allegedly forced to appear in a penis mask. The lawsuit states, Jay-Z and Beyoncé Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyoncé Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?" Manzaro alleges in the lawsuit that he was then forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him.
High-profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyoncé Knowles Carter, are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Wow. And freak-off, of course, is something that we've heard many times before, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil cases, to describe these prolonged sexual episodes, usually with sex workers. But Manzaro is suing Sean Combs. He is suing a man named Eric Mejias. He is suing Brendan Paul, who's been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule, Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop superstar Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who filed her own lawsuit against Sean Combs, claiming she too was a victim of sex trafficking. By the way, it's interesting he's not suing these other celebrities that I mentioned, like Jay-Z and Beyoncé and Gloria Estefan, possibly because he doesn't believe their alleged liability amounted to a civil claim, but seems to want to call them as witnesses at a trial, although I have to imagine they will do everything in their power to quash any subpoena